Start
Take
us
it
off,
away,
Cal.
Kevin.
Dang it.
We're four
I
parts in. It's okay. We can make
Alright,
these
let's try.
mistakes.
Let's try and
I
every
had
other
to
word
time
this.
that because I didn't know when you started, so I had
Yeah.
to
I give
assume.
no warning.
All
Alright. So, this is Kevin taking it away. Welcome back to part last of us ranking castpod ranks Godzilla monsters with Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Tom is our local online. You're a local online streamer. Shout out to that. But Tom is our local online Godzilla expert because we've seen some movies and played some games. But when it comes to not doing more than that, it's Tom.
Yes, I have indeed seen every movie and played every game, collected figures, posters, memorabilia. My probably since I was 8 years old. So
Excellent. So we're gonna finish off with our Godzilla rankings, decide who's Caspod's choice, and then you won't have to hear us talk about Godzilla for at least another week.
yes,
At least another week.
So
1 week.
Exactly.
That is the buffer
yeah,
period.
that's a long. I don't know what we're gonna do after this.
I know y'all are gonna have content for like a month. So
And
so I guess we'll get right into it.
yep. So Tom's gonna explain
Um,
to us the monster. Callum and I get one question each if we want to use it, and then we put it somewhere. Again,
yes,
Tom,
no
take it
phoning a
away.
friend. All right, so we have 7 guys left here. So first up on our list is Orga. Now Orga was in Godzilla 2000. He is an alien species. He originally started off as a UFO for most of the movie.
Oh,
So he was a UFO, and they were studying him and trying to figure out what he was. And Godzilla was, of course, awakened by the threat of another being. So he makes his way to Tokyo, and by that point, the alien UFO has extended its tentacles and turned into kind of a giant squid-like um, alien UFO monster, and it started tapping into the world's resources in terms of electricity and like internet and all that sort of stuff. At that point, Godzilla shows up and starts fighting him. And then eventually Orga changes into its battle form, which is what we see here, which is it mimics whatever it's fighting to try and beat it. So it witnessed what
oh,
Godzilla was and tried to discern what would beat Godzilla. So it created Orga, which kind of looks like Godzilla in certain ways, but has kind of a hunchback, very leathery, kind of rocky skin, one very large claw arm that he can use for grappling, and one like normal arm. He can shoot gamma beams out of his, I think they're gamma beams, out of his shoulder, out of his hunchback. There's like a kind of hole where the cockpit of the UFO used to be that will shoot out lasers. He can grapple, and he also has an extendable jaw. So at one point, he does try to swallow Godzilla whole.
oh.
So he extends his jaw, and while he's doing that, he's absorbing the DNA of Godzilla. So as he's doing it, you see spikes that are similar to Godzilla start forming like an Orga because he's learning the DNA strands of Godzilla. Of course, when you start swallowing something that has atomic fire breath, it doesn't really go well for you. So Godzilla basically blows Orga up from the inside by charging his uh, atomic breath in Godzilla 2000, blowing him up, and we never see Orga again. So that's your kind of synopsis on him. Again, very like grapply kind of guy. Not too many defensive or attack maneuvers. He does have the ability, like I said, to shoot gamma rays, but he can also shoot these kind of like gamma balls of energy, which are slower but do more like explosive damage.
I looked up a picture because I was curious, and yeah, he really just becomes full on mouth, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's just all mouth all the time.
Comes back all mouth.
That mouth doodle.
What a
That's my
doodle.
question.
What does that Orga mouth do?
I think this is really cool.
This is pretty cool.
Like the
question
idea
is,
behind it.
has it turned out to
Yes.
turn into the Incredible Hulk with the gamma rays?
No, I think it's just kind of ambiguously gamma. I don't think it's.
All
I think
right.
you just give it a name.
Not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Hulk versus Orga. Go. He is kind of Hulk like. He's actually more like Abomination like in his design.
Yeah, I noticed that.
The
But
grotesque kind of.
I
Body.
like the idea of like you have this like I guess UFO or whatever, and it's like will take on the form of whatever it thinks will beat the thing that it's facing. Like that's a really interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
It is, isn't it?
And like
Yeah.
the overall design was pretty cool from what I looked up of it. So I like this thing. I don't know how it compares to everything else or what you guys think, but I'm a Orga fan, I think.
I would say maybe low Kaiser, high King.
I can dig it.
I was gonna say High King or Low Kaiser as well. So yeah.
Mm,
Because it's like looking at the things that are up there, it's like I don't think it's cool enough to match the god tier.
No, it's
no,
not.
definitely
Like
not.
the upper end of the king or the Kaiser, it's like these are pretty cool, and then the upper end of the king, it's like it's definitely cooler than these.
I'm debating on if I just want to put it at the like top of King or
I'll put it at the
it,
back of
like
King,
it
Kaiser.
I guess I could do that
Yeah, because
because it's
I
like
think he's a league above Anguirus and Mechagodzilla too. I think.
yeah, he's not quite as iconic as like some of these other ones that are
Yeah.
in
No,
the
he's not
same
as iconic
tier,
as Ghidorah or yeah.
but still pretty cool. But
Yeah.
we do have quite the icon as our next one.
Mm-hmm.
Rodan, what a
Petrie
classic.
from Land Before Time.
Yes, that is Petrie. This is Petrie now. Feel old yet? This is of course Rodan, one of the classic Showa era monsters. So classic that he returned in every era of Godzilla actually, except for no, he's been in every era. He's been in Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and Legendary. So yes, Rodan, likely the fastest monster of them all. Definitely can break Mach 3. It does have fire breath. This is a picture of Fire Rodan, which was introduced in the 90s. But Rodan originally came from a volcano in 1956. There were originally two of them. Throughout that movie, it fights the humans, and eventually they both die. But reincarnations of the Rodan species have come along. There's one that lives on Monster Island in the 60s with Godzilla and helps him out with some stuff, like fighting Ghidorah in space.
Just,
Um,
also
it
has some
can.
stuff. We built a fence on the weekend. All I'm saying.
Interesting you bring up fences. In Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, the way that they contain Rodan on Monster Island in the future is by having a big force field.
Look
But
at me.
just enough force field for Rodan to go and eat whales for breakfast.
What kind of whales?
He can fly in space, humpback whales.
Oh,
Yes, he
wow.
can fly in space. He can shoot fire out of his mouth. His wing beats are pretty dangerous because they can cause gusts and things like that. Um, he has pecking attacks, of course. And similar to Mothra in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, he does sacrifice his life force to revive Godzilla after Godzilla is killed via the Mechagodzilla 2 piercing brain attack that we talked about in the third part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the second part. I don't know. I've lost track.
I lost track after part 1.
Yes, I tried to speed through this because I feel like I've taken up so much of y'all's time already. But yeah, aside from that, just wing attacks, pretty much giant pterodactyl.
I think Legendary Rodan is my favorite, the latest one,
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
because
The fire wing.
Yeah, it's all on fire, and dang, it's just really cool looking.
Yep.
Which
What was I
question
gonna
would I want
say?
to say more?
I don't know. What's on your mind?
I'm gonna go with the first one that I thought of.
Okay.
Does Rodan have hollow bones? Like a bird?
That's a good question. I would assume yes.
Wait,
Just
can
because.
you repeat that first part again?
That's a question.
The disappointment on Cal's face after I said it. And then he said, that's a good question.
Well, I mean, he might. I mean, I know he's a dinosaur, but like, you would assume that. Go ahead.
I mean, let's just get to some real questions. Okay. Is he weak to electric, rock type, and ice type moves?
We go. Well, he wouldn't be weak to ice because he's part fire type, duh.
Oh, true, he's fire flying.
Yep.
Is he just a big talon flame / mold
Yeah.
race?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Also, I have neglected to mention, but his flight can cause sonic booms, and they have been shown to do that in movies before.
Nice.
In Sun and Moon.
Yes. He's Brave Bird.
Oh my god. Now we're getting to the real stuff.
Yes, that's true.
How do we feel about Rodan?
Tom, what's your opinion on Rodan?
I think Rodan, similar to Mothra, is an iconic monster. I think it's more powerful than Mothra and Anguirus. So I would say he's either High King or Low Kaiser. Probably High King. I don't think he's strong enough to be in Kaiser. Like, he doesn't have that kind of planet-ending energy. Like, he's definitely like cool, but he's like a side character. But he's still one of the stronger side characters, if that makes any sense.
He's the sidekick villain.
Yes, he is. I want to say Vegeta because I feel like that's overestimating it.
Tom, Vegeta, me, Muttley.
Yeah, I'd probably say he's like right above Anguirus if I was to place him. But of course, you guys can have your opinions as well.
I'm gonna leave Anguirus at the top just because he deserves it.
He does deserve it.
He has been through a lot. He did get his jaw broken by Mechagodzilla.
But yeah, I'd say somewhere up here. I kind of want to put Mechagodzilla 2 above him just because I feel like Mechagodzilla 2's more of like a killing machine. Yeah. But I think
Mechagodzilla 2 did 2v1 Godzilla and Rodan.
Yeah, I feel like Rodan just gets it out of popularity. Like,
I can see that. He's like a little slimy, just like in King of the Monsters. He's like a little bit like deceitful and kind of out for himself. He's like that in the other movies too, in some of them. So,
tell us about this guy while I go let the dog out.
Who?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm still here, so I'm just not on camera.
This is bad content, Callum.
Daisy has more importance over any of our content.
That's true. So this is Space Godzilla. So earlier in this series, we were talking about how Biolante's cells went into space, and this is how Space Godzilla was formed. So the Godzilla cells attached to a crystalline structure in a meteor and gave birth to Space Godzilla. So Space Godzilla can fly through space on his giant crystallite meteor. When he gets to Earth, he is a force to be reckoned with. He can fly. He can shoot a similar breath power to Godzilla's, but it's more like a space like laser beam from his mouth. He also has psychic powers, so he can lift people up with his mind. He also can sprout crystals at will that then shoot electricity out of the crystals and crystal bits at his enemies, and they heat seek. He is the reason that Godzilla became Burning Godzilla, because the amount of radiation that Space Godzilla produces is so vast that Godzilla's body could not absorb enough of it to keep him stable. In fact, that's how Godzilla defeats Space Godzilla, by absorbing all the intense radiation that Space Godzilla provides. Space Godzilla is also extremely malicious. He captured baby Godzilla in a prison cell of crystals to taunt Godzilla when he came to Earth, to show that he's a dominant force. He 2v1'd Godzilla and Mogira together. What else? Mind control is another thing. Very minor mind control, but still. Telekinesis. And yeah, that's kind of it for our boy. But yes, overall extremely powerful, and the crystals that he spawns onto the battlefield will in turn power him up, so he can provide his own buffs.
So I think we all know what my question is going to be, so I'm just going to say it.
Go ahead.
Space metal?
No space metal. Space rocks.
Uh,
Space gems, I would say.
okay. Space gems is a better argument.
Psychic space crystals.
So,
My question is, what are we talking about?
Space Godzilla.
I could hear it all. Space Godzilla is cool.
He is cool. He also has I forgot to mention, he has 2 giant crystals jutting out of his shoulders.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's something important to me.
And a spiked tail.
Alright.
So
I feel like he's cool, but he doesn't quite pass Mechagodzilla cool. You know?
Right? Which Mechagodzilla?
Yes.
Mechagodzilla 1, you mean? I am of the proponent that Space Godzilla would likely be in low god tier, just based on how powerful he is. But
yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I can kind of
understand
agree
that.
with that.
I like the
Yeah.
space aspect.
If
That
there was
other,
metal involved,
If there was metal involved,
he's got like
he'd be up
space
there with
diamonds.
Thor.
yeah,
I also
I
like
think
the continuity with Biolante. I think it's interesting.
it is definitely interesting. It's kind of a tough call between the placement of Space Godzilla and Monster X for me, but I'm down to
I
do
would say
this
it's above
for now.
Monster X.
Yeah, I guess that's fair because he is like the not quite perfect version. While
He
this
hasn't
guy
reached his
is,
full potential.
Yeah, I'm alright with that. Look at this
Next
dopey
up.
thing.
How dare you? That is my favorite monster from when I was a kid. That is Titanosaurus. And Titanosaur, listen, if Gabra is the Cricketune of Godzilla monsters, this thing is like Cricketune on drugs. This thing's cry is so funny. It's like da, da, da. It's this stupid like dinosaur with a stupid long neck and these fins. He's kind of like a bipedal like sea serpent with a fin tail. He's athletic. He can do front flips and cause gusts with his tail. He does have a kind of weird like laser beam coming from his mouth. But his main attribute is just that he's like a brawler. He's very tall, so he's significantly taller than Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, which are both in the movie that he hails from, which is Terror of Mechagodzilla. He's from the sea. And he respects power, so he follows Mechagodzilla because Mechagodzilla is powerful, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, actually, that's incorrect. I think they use like a mind control sonar on him because he's underwater. But yes, he is athletic and basically a big fish dinosaur.
How does he fare against Mechagodzilla?
He doesn't fight Mechagodzilla. He's on Mechagodzilla's side. But do you mean ranking them together?
Well, I meant fighting wise, but yeah, if they're on the same team, that's interesting.
Yes, they go against Godzilla in that movie, and Godzilla somehow beats them, but I can't remember how. They do put a beat down on him at some point, but I think just mainly Mechagodzilla.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's kind of crazy that because Mechagodzilla is dumb strong, so
True.
then to have Big Dino on its side fighting one Godzilla, that's like wow.
He's also got like sonar stuff, but like it's not really like an attack. He just has like sonar capabilities.
Interesting.
So my question is:
you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
I will leave this call.
It's like, oh my god, who is that?
I thought of that in part 1. And
wow, you've been holding out
on it for so long.
Oh my god.
Almost 3 hours.
That threw me off so much.
I was
it's like, who's speaking? Somebody's using a voice changer. I don't know what's going on.
I had no idea. I sat there and I made sure to conserve enough phone battery to do that.
Oh my God.
I
Your
think-
response?
Do I have to? I don't think Titanosaurus has ever dreamed anything, if you want to know the truth.
There's gonna be a monster that Tom's
He
gonna
is
have.
definitely dumb.
Nice.
There's gonna be a monster Tom loves, and I'm gonna use it on that one. And then sure enough, this is my childhood favorite, and I went.
You're
Now's
just
my
like, it's
opportunity.
time. Wow.
For
Well, thank you
4
all so much for
episodes.
listening. Dang. Where's this Titan ending up on our list, though? That's the question.
Good old Titanosaurus.
I was feeling like a little monarchy with it.
Yeah, I would say like maybe not top of Monarch, but like maybe middle Monarch. Maybe like below Hedorah is what I would say, but that's just me.
I'm down for that. I like that placement. Is on Mechagodzilla's side, so that,
That bumps him up a little bit.
that's definitely positive. Dang, we're down to our final 3 here, though.
Final 3. And we got some interesting ones here. So this first one is Varan the Unbelievable. So Varan's first appearance is in 1958 in the movie Varan the Unbelievable.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either because it's a bad movie. He only shows up for like 10 minutes. He is also in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, so he doesn't actually fight. He just is in the background.
Nice.
That is his only appearances, to my knowledge. He is basically a horny lizard with flying squirrel membranes.
Oh, that guy.
So he can kind of like glide. He can't really fly, but he can glide.
Yeah.
He's athletic. He can do like cartwheels as attacks. He has teeth, obviously. His spine's on his back, so he's like sort of got that Anguirus effect where it's like hard to get him on that area, but not as extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in the movie, the original movie, they say he can fly like supersonic or whatever, but you would never know it to see it. But yeah, he's alright.
A flying Anguirus, eh?
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like that's gotta go above Anguirus, because
I don't know about that, Chief.
Yeah, I feel like even though he can fly, he's just still not.
He's kind of bad.
Yeah.
All right.
I would question, of course.
How unbelievable.
Not as unbelievable as you'd hope, but more than you think.
Hey, so who does he fight in this movie?
Nobody.
Oh,
it's just they find him on an island, and it's like they're trying to establish like I don't know energy mines there or something, and he keeps destroying it for like the sanctity of the.
Oh, so he's a conservationist. Okay, so that's a fact because Tom left.
Yeah. How many times does this happen? I know I'm talking about Varan, but like still.
Yeah, I mean it's almost unbelievable.
It's unbelievable how many times I've dropped. So there, as I was saying, he doesn't fight anybody. He just like kind of fights the people who are trying to mine his island.
Sounds pretty lame to me.
Yeah, he's pretty lame.
Like Anguirus has some character to him. I feel like
that's true. He does. He does have a personality.
This one, I don't know. What are we thinking?
Kevin, do you have a?
No, he sounds kind of lame. I feel like he's on the at least bottom half of the board.
I would say he's top of Not Very Cash Money or the bottom of Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
Like the question is like, is he closer to Kamunga levels or closer to Megalon levels?
Yeah.
Like Megalon has a beam, at least.
Okay, yeah.
Like Varan has a beam in the games, but that doesn't really count.
All right.
I think that's pretty good.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. And there it is.
Continue.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Is Zilla, otherwise known as Godzilla 1998. So this movie came out in 1998, directed by an American studio, TriStar, directed by Matthew Broderick. Not Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick started it. It was directed by Roland Emmerich. And this movie was basically a trash fire for the entire Godzilla community because the advertising leading up to this movie portrayed it as a new Godzilla, like a new Godzilla movie. And then it came out, and he was just kind of this big iguana, and he didn't breathe atomic breath. He was small, he was fast, but then he ran away from the military most of the time. He didn't really cause any destruction. And then the second half of the movie is he laid a whole bunch of eggs in Madison Square Garden. It basically becomes a Jurassic Park ripoff because it's just a bunch of like Velociraptor kind of guys that are his like babies. And then he gets killed by missiles after he gets entangled in the Golden Gate into the Golden Gate Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge. He gets entangled in the lines of the Brooklyn Bridge and gets killed by missiles. And then, fun fact, in Godzilla Final Wars, Toho, because of the cinematic disaster that it was and the critical disaster that it was for Godzilla fans, Toho bought the rights to that movie and then put that creature in Godzilla Final Wars as branded as Zilla, and then put him up against their Godzilla, and their Godzilla cooked him in like 2 seconds. However, this Godzilla was the reason that the Millennium series came out, because Toho could not believe that they had signed off on a movie that was that bad. So they had to make sure that people remember what Godzilla really looked like. So they made the Millennium series, and that's how that like Final Wars started and everything. He doesn't have really any powers. He's fast and agile. He likes fish. He can swim. He can burrow, and he's pretty stealthy for a giant lizard.
Isn't his origin literally he is like an irradiated iguana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Off of, I think, the Bahamas or the Galapagos.
One of those.
Well, which is that changes my ranking.
I was going to guess the Galapagos because I don't think they could test nuclear bombs next to the Bahamas.
Okay, so that is a creature.
That's what I've been saying. Oh my god, thank you.
This is the part I was expecting.
This is the part.
Better than Destroya, 100%.
I mean, my question is, how dare you?
How dare I what?
That's it. How dare you? How dare you slander the greatest, like, piece of cinematic history?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this absolute icon
that
breathed new life into the Godzilla franchise.
I guess he has to breathe something if he's not going to breathe atomic breath.
I remember watching this movie as a child, and I was like, whoa, this is dope.
That's the thing, it's not a bad movie. He's not even a bad creature. It's just when you put the name Godzilla on something, you have a title to uphold.
And
that's fair.
Beats that title.
At the time, though, I had not seen any other Godzilla thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was my introduction to the world of Godzilla.
I see.
Big lizard.
Big lizard. True. I can see that if it's introduction.
Sold.
I will say he's not a bad monster. I hate him for other reasons, but on his own as Zilla, he is not a bad monster.
All right. So
I don't think he's very powerful though, so I don't think I would be able to rank him anywhere above Monarch.
That is fair. That is fair.
I think he's okay.
Where should we actually rank him? Because we all know where I would put him, but
that's true.
Let's
be
reasonable.
I was gonna say either the top of Not Very Cash Money, because I feel like he's like just stronger than Baron, but probably not stronger than Megalon. It's like because Megalon couldn't get killed by missiles. That's my main thing. Like the being killed by humans is like such a determinant of strength for me.
He could definitely beat all of these guys. That's for sure.
Yes, he would.
But
so I think
this Godzilla's gonna stay at the bottom still.
Hate you so much.
One.
You better put him up there before we get to the end of it.
If you remember, I don't know.
I'll remember. All right, so this is Mecha King Ghidorah. So this appeared in the 1992 movie, 1991 movie, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. The storyline for this guy is that there were these things called Dorats, there were these like alien kind of Furby looking things. And when these aliens come to Earth and want to go back in time to kill the dinosaur that becomes Godzilla before it becomes Godzilla, they go back in time and they find the Dorats on the island, and one of their members of their team foolishly brings them in the time machine, which irradiates them and turns them into King Ghidorah, which then leads to the realization that the aliens were bad the whole time and just wanted King Ghidorah to destroy the world. But the good aliens that come from the future want to fix that. So they go into the future after Godzilla destroys King Ghidorah in the normal timeline. And they go into the future and they find Ghidorah's remains underwater where Godzilla left them, and they mechanize him and bring him back from the future to fight Godzilla.
Back to the Future.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That is complex.
It is so complicated. But all we need to know for this ranking system is that Mecha King Ghidorah is a version of Ghidorah where he is piloted by good people. He's an Earth Defense Force mech. He has two organic heads that remain, the two ones on the sides, but the center head, which was destroyed by Godzilla in their original fight, is replaced by a mechanical one. Its wings are also stagnant metal, as opposed to
Flapping.
well, they flap, but they have like hover technology.
Oh.
So it's not really like wings. They're like these big metal like plates like you would see on an airplane.
Okay.
He has the ability to shoot a maser cannon out of his metal head. The other two heads still fire the gravity beams. He has a very large claw that comes out of his stomach and grabs Godzilla and holds him in place. He has stun missiles, so they go into Godzilla's body and like make him spaz out and freak out, kind of similar to the brain attack from Mechagodzilla 2. Like I said, gravity powers can grab things with its tail, bite, scratch, kind of kick, all the stuff that normal Ghidorah can do. A little bit slower than Ghidorah, but can also absorb energy with a shield. So, pretty interesting. To replenish its own energy source.
My question is, do you think that this version is more powerful than normal King Ghidorah?
If we're taking into account just the one from their movie, yes. But if we were to take into account legendary King Ghidorah, no. And I assume that we're taking into account every version of Ghidorah when we're looking at regular Ghidorah.
Yeah. Interesting. What say you, Kevin?
If all of the heads got into a fight, which one would win?
Kevin.
Kevin always wins.
All right.
I like the idea behind it, because obviously I like Mechagodzilla. I like Ghidorah. Combination of the two sounds dope. However, I will say that
it's not on the same level as Kaiser Ghidorah.
No, absolutely. I don't even think it's on the same level as regular Ghidorah if we're considering all the different ones.
I was going to say that as well, because although it is cool, I feel like it'd almost be better if it was fully mech.
Instead.
And not like half and half.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like cyborg Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Rather than, full on metal Ghidorah.
Like Mechagodzilla, yeah.
And it's not made out of space metal.
Nope.
It's future metal, but not space metal.
Yeah. So
get out of here. Space metal or no metal.
I don't know.
In a type of music called space metal?
Yes. They probably already exist.
Probably. I would say this guy's low Kaiser.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. I would put him like
maybe between Baby Godzilla and Mechagodzilla 3.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'd say there. All right.
Okay.
Boy,
hooray, we did it.
We've ranked all of
wait,
them. They're all in their proper place.
Put him up there. He deserves it. We don't have to consider him, but he needs to not him.
You weren't specific, Tom.
Okay. Where are we putting normal Godzilla?
Put him in God. You don't have to consider him for anything, but he deserves to be a God tier. He's Godzilla. I hate you.
Big bird.
Big bird.
Okay.
There you go.
Right. Let's put him in God, but let's think about.
He's not as good as space. Okay.
Okay.
He's not from
I
space.
feel like I'm gonna have a hot take here. I think Gigan is too high. I don't think Gigan deserves to be second place.
I can agree with
Who
that.
do you think? I think Gigan might be better suited between Space Godzilla and Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
Just if we're considering the future version of Gigan as well with the chainsaw hands.
Yeah. I'm much more happy with this.
Yeah, because definitely Destroy. Mm,
What are you gonna do?
yeah,
With
Destroy is probably more powerful than Kaiser Ghidorah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's
I
good.
mean, I don't know.
Boulder
Wait,
Snorf
you said that Destroyer was one of the strongest enemies.
Yeah,
Of
the strongest Godzilla enemies in my head are always Destroya, Kaiser Ghidorah, and then Space Godzilla.
Who is the strongest? If those three fought, who's winning?
Probably Kaiser Ghidorah.
Boulder Snorf.
Oh,
Actually, no, Destroya wins because Destroya has too much versatility.
Yeah.
Because it can move around fast, it can fly, it can like Kaiser Ghidorah can't fly. That's another important factor.
Yeah.
He's quadrupedal. He has little wings, but they can't do anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I would obviously my preferences would reverse these three, but yeah, I'm okay with this. This is a good looking list.
I agree.
All right, Tom, you want to start at the bottom and read it through because I don't know any of the names.
Sure. So at stinky rank, we have Manila/Milla, deservedly so. Very cash money, we have Big Condor, giant squid or giant octopus, excuse me, Kamacuras, Gabra, Ibira, Horror of the Deep, Kamunga, Varen the Unbelievable, and Zilla.
Oh boy.
In Monarch rank, we have Megalon, followed by Manda, and then King Caesar, Titanosaurus, Hedorah, Baragon, and Mogira. Then in King rank, we have the Mutos, Gorosaurus, Jet Jaguar, and then Mothra. Technically, Batra. Did we put Batra here? Oh no, we put Batra next to Megagear. Didn't we put Batra next to Megagearus?
Yeah, we put him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll remember that. Then we have Kong, all forms. Mechagodzilla 2, Super Mechagodzilla 2. Rodan/Fire Rodan, Anguirus. Then in Kaiser, we have Orga, then Batra, then Megagearus, then Young Godzilla Jr., Mecha King Ghidorah, Kiryu or Mechagodzilla 3, King Ghidorah, Biolante, and Monster X. Then in God tier, we have Godzilla himself, Space Godzilla, Gigan, Mechagodzilla, Kaiser Ghidorah, and Destroya.
And now we have one more thing to do.
Yep.
That's true.
You know what to do.
We have to decide on Castpod's number one monster. The monster that will represent Castpod in the final wars.
Up there with Cannonbolt.
Cannon.
And Kaminari.
No.
No, not Kaminari. Who's Kirishima. I always get their names confused. What a dream team this will be.
For a second, I was like, "Did we didn't put Kaminari up there, did we?"
Kaminari did not get up there.
Many K names.
It's true. So yeah, we need to decide who will be our representative.
Okay.
So, how should we do this with a guest, Kevin?
Well, I feel like I've given kind of my take on everything. So I'm willing to relinquish control to just you guys. And then if there's a tie, we can talk about it and maybe look at it. But I definitely don't want to have a vote because I feel like this is your guys' show and you deserve to be represented.
I'll say Tom counts us down.
Okay.
And if we do not agree on the same thing,
We won't. Go on.
We don't. Then Tom, we each pitch the point going for our creature and a point against the other creature, and we'll use that, and Tom will use that to decide who is the best overall and effectively end a friendship with the other person.
Yes. All right.
Good.
Okay, I'm ready.
Begin the countdown.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Mechagodzilla.
I saw that coming.
Okay, you said Mechagodzilla.
Boulder Snorf.
I didn't hear what Kevin said.
I said chainsaw hands.
Gigan. Okay.
Sure.
So we have two cyborgs here, two mechanized creatures. That's interesting.
Yep.
I did consider going for Boulder Snorf though.
Or fake. No, I'm just kidding.
I really thought you were going for Boulder Snorf. Okay, so now we say one good thing about our character that we've chosen, and then one negative thing about what the other person has chosen.
Okay.
Kevin, would you like to start?
I would not.
Okay. Okay. I feel like I could pretty easily wrap this up, but I'll say, as a positive, I think Mechagodzilla is just an iconic villain that is unreasonably powerful for how early it showed up in the series. And one negative thing is that Gigan is not completely made out of space metal like Mechagodzilla. So.
Okay. Kevin, do you have a counterpoint?
Hold on. He made a very good argument.
He's using his own logic against him.
Alright, so my positive for the one I chose, whose name I clearly remember,
Gigan.
Gigan, is he's got the lovely, lovely old chainsaw hands. And a saw.
Okay.
Like, if we want a cool weapon to shoot, I think we know the guy.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the bad thing about Mechagodzilla is he's from space. He's never encountered Earth conditions. He's going to rust real easy. Yep, that's my argument.
Isn't Gigan from space?
Gigan is from space.
You made a really good argument.
Though I will say, to clarify, Gigan with the chainsaw hands is almost entirely made out of metal. So the future version of Gigan is almost entirely space metal.
Yes.
However, the fact that Kevin couldn't remember its name and the fact that his argument was rust.
Oh yeah, I lost.
I might have to side with Callum on this one, because if I can't get Godzilla on the top, I'll get his counterpart on the top. And I think Callum's right in that Mechagodzilla is an iconic enemy, and for when it showed up in the timeline, it is. I mean, we don't see Gigan facing off against Godzilla and Kong. We see Mechagodzilla facing off against Godzilla and Kong. So I feel like that's telling.
He's the star of the latest movie. So.
Got it. So Callum is only interested in the most recent things. Got it.
Correct.
All right.
So there we go. There we go, everybody.
There we go. We figured it out. This is our final tier list.
Stop it. I was about to take a screenshot and you ruined it. Fine.
Go back there. This is it. We've done it.
We have. All right, Callum. Take us home after this 4-episode journey.
Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you made it this far, maybe you just waited for all the episodes to come out. You waited for this one. You just wanted to see the last minute of it. If you did that, you're probably me in the future. But thank you anyways. As always, please like and subscribe and do all of the other things. Let us know how you feel about our list. Do you like where we put everything? Do you hate where we put everything? What would you have chosen? What would you have put in stinky tier? And also ask Tom any Godzilla related questions. Make sure to bother him as much as possible.
Yes.
And thank you, Tom, for joining us on this journey and being our tour guides through the Monsterverse.
Of course, anytime, and I'm happy to answer any questions about Godzilla from fans.
Heck yeah.
Well,
God
lucky
will
for
be,
you, we
or
don't have any fans.
Tom will be doing a Manila figurine giveaway
Okay.
on his Twitter, so make sure to check
On
that
his
out.
Twitter, submit.
You don't even know my Twitter, so you can't say it.
At castpod Twitter.
At Castpod Twitter, Tom will give away a signed Manila toy.
my
Signed by
my Twitter, for those who care, is Kaiju Catcher 757. So any questions or Manila contest questions should go there.
Yep. He will sign the
Perfect.
toy himself, not even by anyone that in the movie. It'll be signed by Tom.
Yeah, I'll sign it because I'm the expert, quote unquote.
So, thank you all, and we will see you next time.
Bye.